This video is for content creators, and I want to show some new technology that I've developed to help content creators promote, protect, and most importantly, monetize their content. So, by content creator, I'm using it in a very broad sense. So, if you post videos on YouTube, that's commonly what's called a content creator. But I also mean long form journalists or writers that are publishing to Substack. I count them as content creators. Also, artists producing art. There's already a trend for them to use NFTs on popular websites like OpenSea. Uh, but I also include people who sell products on Etsy, particularly people who create downloadable products like 3D printer files or design files for a laser engraver. So these are all examples of content creators, and what I'm going to cover in this video is a new way in addition to what you're already doing to monetize your content, this is another brand new thing that you can do by tokenizing your content to add additional revenue. So just to really drive home the trend and the ground of what I'm talking about, here are some recent statistics which are accurate as of this recording, which is October 2025. So according to a Gallup poll, trust in mainstream media is the lowest in 50 years, with only 31% of Americans saying that they trust the mainstream media. Newspaper jobs are down 75% from their all-time high. MSNBC audience is down 30% in the last year, with their median viewing age of 71 years, which is very old. And the statistics are exactly the same for MSNBC. They're down 56% in a year, and their median age, or I meant CNN, they're down 56% in a year, and their median age is 67 years old. There's an upcoming ban that has not taken effect yet on pharmaceutical ads, and that threatens 1 in 5 ad minutes. And a recent study found that the majority of Americans get their news from social media. So these are all independent data points that paint a picture and show a clear trend that the conventional media is in the final stages of its death throes, and social media is just becoming media. That is the way that Americans, and in particular Gen Z and millennials, consume their content. So this paradigm shift into this new social media, which is just becoming media, is a huge opportunity for content creators. We know very clearly what the media landscape is moving away from, but it's not crystal clear what we're moving towards. And so this is a huge opportunity for content creators in moving into the future. So now that we have laid the groundwork for the zeitgeist that we live in, let's talk about business models for content creators. Um, I did a quick search for business models for content creators, and I came across this article by Shopify, and it lists 7 categories. Uh, I would actually put ads in one category, and I'd put the other 6 in what I call the 1,000 true fans category. So if your goal is just to produce great content and sell ads, I would kind of call that the YouTube business model. It works great when it actually works. You focus on creating great content. They put ads and they share some of that revenue with you. The problem with that business model is that it's really high stakes and really high risk. Not everybody can be a Joe Rogan or a Mr. Beast or an SV Delos, which is a very popular sailing show on YouTube. And because this is a winner take all type of market, by definition, most people are going to lose. And so that's a sketchy business model. If you create great content, I mean, go for it. But for everybody else, the mere mortals in the room, uh, I think the 1,000 true fans business model is much lower stakes and much lower risk. And if you don't know what I'm talking about when I refer to 1,000 True Fans, do a quick Google search for that, and this article will come up at the top of the results. There's also a book by the same title, by the same author. And the gist of this idea is it's answering the question, how many consumers do you need in order to make a living off of selling your content? So, and roughly the math is if you have 1,000 people paying $100 a year, you'd be making $100,000 a year. And it doesn't have to be exactly 1,000. It's just that the math has to work out to be in that ballpark in order to make a full-time living producing content. That's the first important part. The second important part of this article is about having a direct relationship with your fans. And that's really like the nuance of the article is talking about this direct relationship. And the technology I want to show you today uh, gives you tools to create that direct relationship with your true fans. Um, so so I'm going to talk for the rest of this video about this 1,000 True Fans business model because I think it's much more approachable for the average content creator. So we've talked about the opportunity, we've talked about business models. Let's touch on the threats and the risks to content creators. And if you are a serious content creator, or you're serious about making money from your content, I'm sure I don't need to go too far into this. You've probably heard your own horror stories over the last few years of different content creators getting deplatformed and demonetized for frivolous reasons. So first of all, there's demonetization, which is where your content stays up, but they no longer they still show ads. You just don't get a cut of that ad revenue. That's almost kind of like a shadow banning type of demonetization. I would actually consider that to be the worst. But then, some people think the second one, deplatforming, where your content actually gets deleted off the platform, is the worst. And that's the most obvious one. And we're seeing this happen for just one of the horror stories I heard recently was a uh, a very well established content creator on YouTube who interviewed Control Pew, who is a guy who's prevalent in the 3D printed gun space. But the interview wasn't even about 3D printed guns, but he just interviewed the wrong person. And his entire platform got deleted, or his entire channel got deleted off of YouTube. And a lot of these punishments are retroactive. You might have made the content 2 or 3 years ago, but you get deplatformed today, even though, that's old content. So it's pretty crazy. And then like another source of these horror stories is the government regulation and overreach and censorship, especially coming out of the UK. A lot of people are getting jailed for just retweeting things. And then finally, there's manipulation, where people steal your content, they impersonate you, they might even go so far as to edit the content and add information that wasn't originally in there. So the technology that I'm going to be presenting mitigates a lot of these risks, and I'll go into the how it does that here. Uh, okay, so because of those risks, a common trend for content creators is to not depend solely on the platform like YouTube. It's to create a website and then use the platforms to drive traffic to that website because it's much harder to be deplatformed from a website that you own and control. And so that's how a lot of serious content creators have transitioned. So they post to YouTube, but they probably also post to Rumble and Odyssey, and they probably also post to Twitter and Facebook. And so they use as many platforms as they can because they're really just marketing tools and they're trying to drive traffic to their own website. And that's a solid business plan that helps mitigate some of these risks. So I'm not saying change anything that you're already doing. I'm saying continue to do what you're already doing. This technology complements that. So the new thing is just tokenizing your content and the metadata uh, into an NFT that your true fans can buy. So I'm not going to get very technical in this video. I have other videos where I dive into the technical side of things, but what I want to point out is that the demo I'm about to show, it uses three main technologies. It uses blockchain, and I'm not necessarily trying to promote any one cryptocurrency. It's just that blockchain has tech that can help content creators, so that's why we use it. There's IPFS, the Interplanetary File System. That's really good at moving files around the internet and also has a lot of censorship resistant capabilities. And then finally, there's Nostr, which is a social media protocol. And I'm going to go into that a little bit more in this video if you've never, in case you've never heard of it, because that's another very important piece of technology. But ultimately, what this boils down to is you control your content and you control your community. No one can get between you and them, between you and your true fans. And no platform can arbitrarily demonetize you or deplatform you by using these technologies. So let me give a quick demo. I am a content creator. I create videos like this, and I talk about blockchain and privacy and other technology. And I'm constantly worried about getting deplatformed, that particularly retroactively, that I might have created a video 2 or 3 years ago that I'll be punished for today. So I have this website. This is one of my websites, masteringbch.com, where I post videos for software developers who are interested in writing software that works on the Bitcoin Cash blockchain. And so what I want to point out here is that each of these videos, I only have two up right here right now, but each of these videos has been tokenized into an NFT. And so when I create a third video and I tokenize that, this will automatically pop up on this website. I don't have to do anything extra. It'll automatically pop up. And so I have my YouTube little mini clip here that people can easily watch. And if I was to get deplatformed from YouTube, this token links out to other platforms where my fans can find the content. So again, it's not such a big deal if I get deplatformed from any one platform. And so this page is a template, and we'll be providing this for content creators who use Token Tiger, which is what I'm about to show, and the SLP DEX, which I'm also about to show. So the way I made these tokens is I used tokentiger.com. And this is a company that I'm partnered with. And I have two tokens here that I've created. The one on the left is actually a downloadable product. It's a design file for a laser cutter. So if someone buys this token on the DEX, they can bring it back to Token Tiger and exchange it for the downloadable file so that they can then cut this item out on their own laser cutter. The one on the right is the Mastering Bitcoin video that I showed right here. And I also have that token in slpdex.com right here. And so my fans can purchase this NFT in order to support me as a content creator. And there's other benefits that I'll talk about that in a minute. But whoever owns the token, it doesn't stop people from being able to access it on this template website. And then to dive a little bit deeper into some of this technology, each of these tokens has a blog post embedded inside the token. And we can see that right here. This is the blog post for that token. So, I cover just what's in the video. This is kind of like the comments you'd put on a YouTube video. But I also link out to the other platforms where they can get this content. I encourage them to support me. I can put other information in here, about like where they can buy the token, what I'll do with the funds if they support me, whatever you want to go in here, whatever you want to put in here is up to you. And but the point is that this sort of is part of the token, and you can think of this as like the product page for an Amazon product. So this is where you would convince them why they want to buy the token. So I'll have other videos that can walk you through the actual mechanics of creating a token on Token Tiger, listing it on slpdex.com. And but I want to show you some of these other features. I'm going to get to um, so I talked about masteringbch.com as a centralized location for all the content. I showed the NFT. Obviously, if people buy it, that's extra income for you. And in a minute, I'm going to talk more about this direct relationship with fans. But first, I want to talk about Nostr because this is a really important social media protocol, new technology, and it can do anything that the other uh, platforms can do. It can replicate YouTube, it can replicate Facebook, Twitter, Telegram, anything that they can do, Nostr can do. And if you haven't heard of it, probably a good place to start is nostr.org and nostr.com if you want to read up on them. But the reason this is a protocol and not a platform is that we have it integrated into SLP decks. So here is my profile page on SLP Dex, and here is the same profile page on Coracle.social and the same profile page on Ditto.pub. So this is what I mean by a protocol, not a platform. Each of these separate platforms has access to the data on the protocol, and I own that data. I control that data, nobody else does. It uses cryptographic technology based on blockchain to do that. And on my profile, I have uh, a Bitcoin Cash address, so people can send me tips. I also have a token address. People can airdrop me tokens, and I have all the regular information, tweets I've done. People can follow me. They can send me end-to-end encrypted messages, and this is truly end-to-end encrypted. So that's why Nostr is so powerful and important. It enables, it's another platform for you to promote, but it's a growing network, and it gives you much more control than other platforms would. It makes it really easy for people to send you tips, and it's actual end-to-end encrypted messaging. So let's talk a little bit about this direct relationship with fans. This is the last slide that I'm going to show. It's a little wordy. I'm going to read this out for you, but this is the gist I want you to walk away from this video. The NFTs that represent your content can be purchased by your true fans, and they allow a new and unique way for you to monetize your content, in addition to whatever you may be doing now. Owning an NFT gives your fans a sense of ownership. This is important because they're much more likely to aggressively share your content. Now, when they own it, they basically have bragging rights because they've helped support your ability to produce content, and that's what makes it much more likely that they'll aggressively share it. People collect these NFTs. They like to show off their NFT collections, and we have tools at Token Tiger to help people collect and promote their collections of NFTs. When a user or true fan buys one of your NFTs, you have a direct line of contact to those people without needing them to reveal any personal information. You can send them end-to-end encrypted messages and you can airdrop them gifts. This is a new thing that's enabled by this technology that has not been possible with any other technologies in the past. So if you're an artist, you could send your true fans a free piece of art, like say around Christmas time. Or, if you're a writer, you could write a personalized newsletter and airdrop that to all of your true fans. This gets right to the heart of that direct relationship that the Thousand True Fans article talks about. This is how you foster and grow your true fan base. This is how you can upsell additional products to your true fan base. Finally, tokenizing content makes it censorship resistant and tamper proof. This goes to that last risk about manipulation of content in the risk slide that I presented. This is particularly important if you are producing content in the health, politics, or conflicts like wars, content like that has been persecuted strongly over the last few years. These sort of cryptographic guarantees that come with these three main technologies uh, make it very censorship resistant and easy to distribute your content, extremely difficult to deplatform or demonetize you. So that's why this technology is worth your attention. All these benefits that tokenizing your content provides. So, if this has piqued your interest, we are looking for content creators. We are going to offer white glove service. We're going to hold your hand. We really want to allow more people to use this and explore it and give us feedback so that we can make these websites better. So that we have a Telegram channel. If you are a Telegram user, you can go there. There's also slpdex.com has its own chat room, which is bridged to the Telegram channel. This is an example of me sending an end-to-end encrypted message. And if I go up here to the chat room, you can get there from the menu by just going to Noster Chat. And anything you type here will be rebroadcast to the Telegram chat room. So you don't necessarily need to have a Telegram account. So please come chat it up. This is me right here. You can click and send me a private message. I would love to help you tokenize some of your content and explore this new avenue for monetization of your content.